So if you have no idea what basic fundamental nutritional principles and protocols are, you can fall for anything.
Hi Dave, I'm relatively new to powerlifting as a sport coming out of college rugby. I have managed to progress to a 405 bench, 610 deadlift, and about a 500-pound squat from following routines, then making my own, then following another routine, rinse and repeat. Currently on Brett Knuckles programs. I'm contemplating hiring a coach. Would you say, generally, if someone progresses in this sport, that they should hire a coach at some point? If so, what should I look for? Or is it more hire one if you really think you need one?
The first thing he needs to think about, what went wrong when he trained himself. That thing right there, that's the most valuable piece of information he needs to know and that coach needs to know. I wrote an article on the 6 things that you need to do to hire a coach, and it's like a 1 through 5 scale. You know, it's what experience do they personally have? Who have they trained under? You know, who taught them? Who have they coached? Who have they helped? What's the education level? And there was a scale of like 1 to 5 for these 5 different variables. Nobody's going to score a 5 in everything because they need a PhD and like world records to be able to have a 5 on all that. But you want to hire the person that's going to be closest to the 5 on all those things, with one variable that's not on there that's hard to quantify, and that is, what is their experience working with somebody at your level. So on my scale, you could have somebody that scores super, super high, but has never worked with beginners. And then a beginner sees my scale and then goes hires them. And then it's a complete clusterfuck. It's more, what have they personally done? You know, what are their accolades? You know, I'm not saying that they have to be a world record holder. I could probably make an argument on both sides of the coin with that. That being that the person that couldn't do that probably didn't have the genetics to be able to do that and had to work harder and learn more just to get to where they were. The hard gainer, so to say. But either way, what have they personally done? That speaks volumes. Who did they learn from? Right? So that speaks volumes too, because that shows bias or why there is the bias. So if, let's say somebody's biased toward linear periodization, but they, you know, trained under Louis Simmons for 2 years. They trained under like Dave Kennedy, or they trained under some, you know, other well-known strength coaches that are under different training systems, different methodologies, but yet their bias is linear periodization. Well, they've been exposed to a deep level from all these other people that have a pretty solid bias on what it is, compared to somebody that's only trained with one methodology and what their bias is. What have they done? Who have they trained under? Who have they personally worked with? What is the experience there? That gets a little weird because now we have, you know, this online thing and then the in-person thing. So if somebody is very, very solid, I'm going to flip this on its head. I'm going to say something people aren't going to think I'm going to say. But if somebody's really, really solid of training people in person, but they've never trained anybody online, they're probably going to suck if what you're looking for is somebody that can train them online. Or it's not going to work out, because those types of people that are in the trenches type of coaches need more feedback than just written text. I mean, you're paying good money for the coach. Vet the shit out. Just don't go with what they say. Look around, see what the reputation is. How long do these people stay with them? And so if it's an online coach, it's pretty easy to search their hashtag, because, you know, everybody that starts working with the coach is going to start hashtagging the shit out of them wherever they post, and just do some investigation. How long did this person keep hashtagging them? Because if it stopped after 3 months, guess what? It didn't work out. And if you see that thread happen over and over and over again with a certain coach, you might want to run the other way. What is their education? That matters too, because While I'm never going to be the person that says a college degree is necessary, I do have one, so I'm not saying it because I don't have one. I'm never going to be the person to be able to say that. I will be the person to say that formal education and being around a lot of people that have had formal educations, and there's a lot of caveats with that. They have to have a bullshit detector. So if you have no idea what basic fundamental nutritional principles and protocols are, you can fall for anything. But if you just know the basic shit that you would learn through 101 textbooks, that bullshit detector is going to go off. Same thing with, you know, exercise science, training, stuff like that. Have they made anybody better than what they are? That's a floating variable because it also depends upon where you want to be. But the reason why that's in there isn't so much for them to be able to make somebody a world record holder or to be on, to win a bodybuilding show or to, you know, make it to the NFL or whatever it is. It's an ego question. It's a hidden ego question, because if they never made anybody better than they are, they're threatened to make somebody better than they are. Growing up in gyms my entire life, small private gyms, I've seen this so many times. It can't, somebody starts to get a little bit stronger than whoever the top dog is, shit starts to come down. And they find a way to, instead of pushing them up higher, that's who you want, is the person that's going to push you up higher. A lot of these guys will start, or women, whoever it's going to be, will start to get threatened, and then they push them down, and then they leave and start their own gym or go to a different gym. You don't want to work with that person. Avoid them like the fucking plague, because they will hold you back. What have they done personally? That also has some context here in a different way, where I'm just going to throw just a random number out, say a 315 bench. For some people, that's probably great. You know, a woman would be great. You know, some people it's going to be great. If your coach thinks a 315 bench is a great bench, what do you think your odds are of doing 365 or 405? If your coach thinks, oh man, that bench sucks, where's that being developed? Is it being developed because at one point in time that coach was able to bench 315 for 38 reps? Or because that coach was able to bench 500 or 400 and they just see 315 as a stepping stone? Or does that coach see 315 as the end game? That matters. It's not everything. That's why all those other variables are in there, but it matters. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us on social media. We're at elitefts on Instagram. I think we got a TikTok, but we haven't done anything with that. That should be interesting. And we have a website. It's called elitefts.com, and we sell all kinds of cool shit that allows us to be able to continue to do these videos for you guys.